Okay, thanks everyone for coming out for the afternoon. And you'll be very pleased to hear we are now delighted to introduce our guest of honour. So, Lee Tockar, who has... Mark has got some questions he's going to talk to Lee about. I think Lee, you've got some audio for us as well.
I have a little treat for you guys for later. If you're interested, you don't have to. It's nothing. It's just a little thing I wrote tonight. I recorded it. If you want, it's a little kid's story. It takes 9 minutes at the end. Just I wanted to share with you. If not, then just, you know, well, I'll just screw off.
I don't know. Do we want that? Wait, come on. Do we want it?
That's much more encouraging. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll stay.
Thank you. It's started already. You see, your enthusiasm.
It started at playing in my pocket. It was, wow, that's amazing, you guys. I had no idea you had that kind of control. Someone's having a lucky. And it says I'm offline, so I don't even know what that means. Okay, well, we'll figure all that out.
Okay, so we'll hand over then to Mark, who is going to grill Lee. I think, will there be some room for possible questions from the audience?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I don't know what's happening after this, but I'm willing to, like, you own me. The convention owns me for while I'm here. So you guys, whatever you want from me, that's it. I'm yours.
There we go. Money well spent.
Money well spent. So like, oh, okay, we're done in 3, 2, 1. I'll go back to the hotel. All right, what do you got for me? I know some of the questions, and I was looking at some of them, and I was like, oh, you really? Oh. So okay, right. This way. Oh. All right. Wait, first of all, are you guys having fun so far? Yeah! No, really believable. Let's try one more time. Are you having fun so far? Yeah! See, now that sounds more believable. I'm cajoling the audience. All right, go on then. Go on.
Okay, first question. How did you get interested in voice acting?
First of all, put the microphone closer to your mouth hole. Nice and close, we all can hear you. Right, so see, it starts in your brain pan, comes out your mouth hole, goes into here, into our ear balls, and then we recreate it, don't we? So I told you, yes, I was taking a piece of it.
How did you get interested in voice acting?
Mel Blanc from Bugs Bunny. Yeah, I was just a kid when I realized that's one guy that does all those voices. And so I told my mom when I was 5 years old, I said, I was walking hand in hand with her up the main street in Kelowna, BC, British Columbia, and I said, I want to grow up to be a cartoon. She let go of my hand and she just immediately sized me up for the short bus. And I was like, oh, well, she didn't really know what I meant, but I did, and I wanted to be a cartoon ever since I was 5, because I used to do talent shows and things like that, and I can't see very well. In case you see me and you wave and I don't wave back outside if it's sunny, I have cone dystrophy, so I'm legally blind. I'm not just being like, oh, what a stuck up twat. You know, I actually just can't see you. So, but in the lighting like this, if it's inside, I can see all right. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that tangent. You're gonna just stop me eventually. Just say, okay, you've answered the question. Shut up now, Lee. And just moving on. Moving on.
Did you always want to be an actor, or did it come later on?
No, it's like I said, that same story. That I always wanted. I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I did talent shows when I was 6 and 7, and then I did stand-up comedy when I was 10 and 11, and then. When I was a runaway and a group home, foster home, ward of the courts, street kid when I was 12, and I used to pay my way by going to doing stand-up comedy, and so I'd get like jobs doing stand-up comedy and stuff, and yeah, so I always knew that, and so it's kept me alive. So I picked a winning pony.
As an actor,
What's up, please?
As an actor, what's the difference between performing a role on stage
TV or voicing a character?
Less nudity. See, I knew that question already. It was coming, so I had that one lined up. I was in the chamber. Okay. No, I mean, the thing when you're doing voice acting and stuff, you get to play with the cast sometimes, unless it's when it's pre-lay. That means the whole cast are together and you're doing the whole script, like we do with My Opponent. But there's also something called, not pre-lay, but ADR, audio dialogue replacement. It's done in another country, and then they dub it into English or whatever. Like I play in Monkey France, so I do a character, the hunter in the Monkey France, and so I speak it. It's dubbed from France, French.
But is that easy though?
It's yeah, it's easy. I mean, it's written in English. I do understand. Je comprends l'anglais, but I do understand it. So that is fun to play with the other actors. At ADR, you're usually by yourself with the TV, and you're fitting the words into the mouth flap. Not so fun. At stage, you get the immediate feedback, so that's the only difference.
You've done a huge range of accents in your career. How do you work with each one?
I'm gonna get Simon Cowell in here, I swear to God.
You've done a huge range of accents in your work.
Yes.
How do you work on performing each one?
Listen and steal. Like I want, eventually before I go, I told you guys last night, who were at the event, I want to get each one of you with different accents from different districts because I really want to learn. I'm not bad actually. I'm actually quite spot on with a couple things. But really, I want to steal from each and every one of you. Not just some. I want all of your songs. So.
Now try Manchester accents.
Well, I don't know one yet, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here, because I don't know Liverpoolian, I haven't been able to do that one, and because I've never tried, and I haven't done Manchester. So I want somebody to teach me a good Manchester and a good Liverpool accent.
You've got Lancashire as well.
And Lancashire.
Yeah.
See, as a Canadian, I don't know the geography of the UK, just like you don't know the provinces and cities of Canada. Don't tell me you do, because you don't. So I don't know the districts as they are laid out on the map, but I know the sounds in my ear, so I can not do the Yorkshire, do not. That's it. And doing that, and Master Copperfield, sir. You'll find us rough, sir, but you'll find us ready. So, I steal all the time. Yeah, I mean, I'm like all these other things, like Scousy and things like, I don't know, I'm Canadian, but
What advice would you give to someone who wants to start voice acting?
What advice would I give to somebody who wanted to start voice acting? Well, it's something you have an application for or not. You have to have a good ear. Like again, eyes don't work. Ears almost pitch perfect. So it's something I always wanted to do. And so you have to really, it's like in anything. You have to want it. And so you have to want it so much that it never feels like work. So that you're just happy all the time. Like I am happy all the time. I don't know if you notice, I'm 78 years old. But I smile and laugh all the time. And I moisturize this stuff because this falls apart real quick after 50. Let me tell you right now for all you people that don't know. But yeah.
What's a typical working day for you?
I love that you have your handwriting so big. This is blind people friendly, people. This is great. I love this. Okay, what was the question?
What's a typical working day for you?
Well, I don't just do voice acting. So I wake up, I stay up late writing, because I can't carve at night because it's too loud for my neighbors, and I can't do voice acting, but I do a lot of voice acting from my home, at my home studio, so I do a lot of my work sending out MP3 auditions in my pajamas. So it's like, woohoo! When I do get a job, I just hop in a cab and I go and have fun with other little talk monkeys. And but I just, my whole day is writing, auditioning, carving on stones, and painting, drawing, and making silly voices out of my mouth hole. And that's it. And then,
Any latest art you've done?
what's that?
Any latest art you're working on?
Well, if you're interested in seeing it, you can. I have a couple things that you can find on YouTube. One is called The Slumber Stones. So type in my name, Lee Tockar, Leetockar, and then just Slumber Stones. And it was a commission, the last commission that I did for a guy who was going to ask to be engaged to his, or to propose to his then fiance. And she said yes, as he gave her the box. And she saw at the end of the film which I made, which you can see, and it said from to his Karina. So, and so she said yes, thank goodness. And the other one I did as a piece dedicated to my father, rest in peace, called The String Theory of the Gods. So if you type in String Theory of the Gods, Lee Tockar, you'll see that too. And so that's sort of, instead of me going on and on, which it's too late now, I've already gone on and on.
Oh no.
Anyway, let's not bore them to tears.
You've done a huge range of shows. What was, which is your favourite and why?
I like all the shows that pay me. I find those are my favorites.
As long as it's fabulous.
Yes, fabulous. So yeah, I like. I mean, look, let's be honest. The My Little Pony thing has really treated the main six and the subcast, like myself, who's sort of a workhorse or a work pony, if you will. I do a lot of. What's that?
Don't mention that's Ashley Wall.
I won't. She's my sister from another mister. I mean, I love all. We work together all the time, and not just in this show, but in others. But there's so many shows that have just given us such a leg up. But I mean, George of the Jungle, the stuff that you don't get here because you guys have it dubbed with your British accent and all, and I don't understand. I think it's really it's racist. It's racist. Yeah, you know. But anyway, I was with my handler and my new friend Chris. We were going over some of the sides this morning, and we just walked into the hotel and I was getting my kit together, and the TV was on and it was a show called The Deep, and I played Nereus, which is an English gentleman, and so he's like, hey, that's The Deep you were talking about, but I know that one you get here. And they allowed me to keep the English accent, so I thought that was cool. But most of the shows you don't get, like George of the Jungle, Johnny Test. I don't know if any of you have seen Johnny Test. I played Bling Boy. I played Bling Boy and Johnny Test and a whole bunch of other characters who will destroy Pork Belly unless Susan Test goes on a date with him. And all of these other shows, like Dragon Ball Kai, I played Frieza. And so I have a lot of fandoms that I love, and so yeah, but. I just really don't think I'd like to hear a lot. I don't want to be in a life where I don't get to do this. Looking at his watch. See? I saw that. Oh, not that. See, he's like, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're doing really great. Moving on. Yeah. See, I am blind. I told her. I thought it was a watch. All right, next question.
You're involved with the show from the start. Did you expect the reaction you got? Or did you take them by surprise?
Well, it obviously took all of the main cast by surprise. What was the name of the first creator before Lauren Faust? What was her name? What was it? I can't remember her name, and I feel terrible because I was. What's that?
One of the writers of the early 1930s was George Arthur.
Well, this was a lady who created the show.
Bonnie Jack.
Yes.
Bonnie Jack.
Well, anyway, I feel terrible because I just forgot her name. But I actually interviewed her at BronyCon, my first BronyCon. And she was sitting there, and there's Lauren Faust comes in, and it sounded like a jet engine went off with the audience, and then she peeps in, and she's like, nobody knows who she is, and so I interviewed her, I'm like, I gotta talk to that person. And I said to her, I'm like, how does it feel to see this thing that you created get so, like, out of control. I said, don't you feel just like a little, and she's like, yeah. You know, but she's such a sweet lady. And I have a half an hour interview. I gotta find that. Yeah, it caught all of us by surprise. But it's got me like 1 year ago. Like all the conventions that I go to and I have gone to, I've met some of my very best friends that I still call my friends and family to this day. I met a girl that I'm still with 1 year ago, 3 days from now, 1 year ago, in St. Louis at Crystal Fair. And we have a long distance relationship, and she's lovely. And you know, these are all of the wonderful things that have happened through causality, peering under a thousand butterfly wings, if you will. That's my novel later. You know, just because of this show has led to so many wonderful experiences, new people. You know, that I can look around and I can call my friends, so that you know, I don't think I need a restraining order. You know, at least. But you know, but it's just amazing. So we are all blessed because of this.
Can you talk us about the audition process or one of them?
Well, it depends on which character. Because I mean, Snips and Snails, Richard Ian Cox, my friend, whom I've worked with many times on many shows. They just took both of us into a room, and the director said, okay, you play Snips, you play Snails. Okay, now swap them. And I got Snails, I got Snips, and he got Snails. And there was like 6 other people, and I'm not going to mention names, because that would be embarrassing for them. So I'll tell you later. It's like Mae West said, if you don't have anything nice to say about somebody, come sit next to me. But anyway, so yeah, so that's the process for that. And then Stephen Magnet, I don't know if you know the story. Obviously, everybody knows the story, that it was actually an autocorrect. Sea Serpent turned into Stephen Magnet through autocorrect. And then Terry Klassen, the director, says, he said, well, what do you want for him? And he said, just kind of make him fabulous. And I said, okay. And so I said, well, okay, well, do you want him just a little fabulous? Or do you want him a whole bunch of fabulous? He goes, maybe a little more fabulous. And so I'm like, whoa, okay. What a world, what a world. But my mustache, this little purple cloud just whisked in and took my mustache. What a world, what a world. And he goes, yeah, that's about fabulous enough. And Gummy, and I love Gummy. I love the Gummy, the existential alligator. In the show that was just going like perfectly fine, it just dropped into this existential moment. And they didn't know what they wanted, and so I tried a couple voices, and I said, well, what else do you want? And they said, well, that, what you just did, what was that? And I said, well, that's just me. That's me. And he said, okay, do that. And I said, okay, but you want me like me, or you want me like slightly hungover? And so they said, yeah, slightly hungover, so that's good. So that's Gummy is me, just like, you know, one bugbear attack away from oblivion. So.
Do you approach each character differently? Like Snips, EG girls?
Yeah. Snips went off the rails there for a couple seconds. just like Stephen Magnet did too. Because, you know, in the 100th episode where
wedding is
it's like, the wedding is everything. He got all Harvey Firestein for some reason. I don't know what the hell happened there. But you know, every character has to have their own hook and their own voice and their own character. So for anybody that wants to get into it, these are the things like what sets you apart. Where have you come from? Where are you going? What are you going to do to get there? What do people think about you? And what do you know about yourself? Find yourself the next little vocal range. Find a hook, and find a laugh that's distinctly your own. And yeah, create your character that way. So that's fun. I don't know what happened there.
Why do you think the Magnet so popular?
Okay, without being too delicate or indelicate, or I don't know what I'm saying. I'm still jet lagged. Leave me alone, people. I think it's because the MLP universe and the LGBTQ universe is so like all right. And I know that, and I've grown up around a lot in LGBTQ community, and so I I just think that that's one of the reasons. I mean, I might be wrong. I don't think I am though, but I think that there's. I think most bronies in North America, anyway, I can't speak for here, but I can't speak of that. But people that gravitate to this universe are already feeling a little like on the sidelines, and so they can find commonality and friendship together, and it makes them feel all right. And so I think that, you know, having somebody who's, you know, a little openly fabulous, you know, it's just to find that acceptance and to promote that kind of acceptance is something I can get behind. Yeah.
Are you ready for crazy?
Go on then.
Crazy.
Go on then.
Imagine My Little Pony. A spin-off looking for life with snips and snouts. And Sips and Stephen Magnet. Kept 10 years after 10 years after the show's finished. What do you...
What kind of jobs do they have? What are you asking? I didn't see this. Where's my handler? Chris, you did not tell me about this.
Do you think fully grown Snips will be growing up? Grow up to be? What adventures will Stephen have?
The two of them together? Well, they're obviously roommates. Number one. I don't understand the question. So what are you asking?
Well,
what specifically are you asking?
Well, let's say Snips.
Snips, okay, yes. Let's just stick with Snips for a second.
He's
So
all,
10 years from now,
he's already grown up,
he's old grown up.
but he's got a different voice though.
Oh, so what would he sound like?
Yeah.
Oh, you know that?
And then add a story around it. What sort of...
Oh, come on! I had 4 hours of sleep in 2 days, man! Okay.
So Snip says he gets older, we probably sound like this, and he probably smokes a little. And he's a little bedraggled by life, and he starts to sound like Krusty the Clown. I hate my job. Now that Stephen Magnet never puts the toilet seat down.
I don't know. And Stephen's always going to be fabulous. He's timeless. He's a fabulous sea serpent. And he's always moisturized because he's in the water all the time.
Because I said it's a Middle Eastern Stephen.
What's that?
Middle Eastern. He's got a little bit of accent from Middle Eastern.
No, I think you're thinking of coriander cumin. Coriander cumin was the first East Indian, or Southeast Asian, to be specific and politically correct, Southeast Asian accent that a pony or I think he's a unicorn pony. I think he's got like a little. I came in when I went into this audition. This is a funny little story. I'm not gonna. I hope I'm not. Am I boring you? Should I stop? Should I truncate? Make it a little shorter? Yeah. I saw you. You nodded. You. I saw you. So I went in, and they said we want an East Indian accent, and there were 3 guys that were there who were all from the Punjab, and so they're like, "What are you doing here, man?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just here to take food out of your fridge and put it into my fridge." And they're like, "Okay, don't try, man. Don't even try because we're not going to do anything. Okay, don't wait." And so the next day was the callback, and only one guy was there other than me. And he looks at me, he's like, "You, what the hell, man?" And I said, "I told you, food from the fridge." And you know, I got a chance to do it. And people ask me, and this is important in any time that we're alive. I tell my students this, and I tell everybody I meet this as a life lesson. When is it all right to do other people's accents? Like if I'm doing a voice that's from here, when is it all right? And you know that I'm not being insulting. And that is, number one, you have to do it well. So you know, if you don't do it well, you're being insulting. 2, how do you know if you're being a racist? Well, if you're a bloody racist, you know. So, but it's having fun, not making fun. It's cultural appreciation, not cultural appropriation. And that's important. So, I played Japanese, Chinese, Southeast Asian. I played black actors online when they didn't know what I looked like for online auditions. I played like Idi Amin, and like he's from South Africa. And so you're looking at him because see, he can't boring. Okay. All right. Sorry. I don't even know what the question was anymore.
If you could voice any other character, not your own, who would it be?
All of them. Just all of them. My accountant would love me. My landlord would love me.
Okay, 5 female characters.
Yeah.
But what's it?
Female. Flashlight.
No.
Well, not technically.
I just was being sarcastic. Sarcasm.
No.
No, I didn't. Yeah, see, he was being sarcastic just then. Yeah, so it is. I want it. All right, go on then.
As the show's come to the end,
Boo.
and you'll be there from the start, what do you think the legacy?
Well, I've been working on a little thing called My Little Bunny. No, what I think the legacy
Oh, come on,
is.
hop to it.
Yeah, right. Well, it's a lovely little tale. Anyway, I think what the legacy is all around us. It's the fact that this one event, this one thing, this show has brought so many people together, so many connections throughout the Brony fandom and the universe of the Bronies, to so many countries. There's been conventions that have brought people together. I was at a convention where people got married, that they met the following year at that convention. So that's the legacy, is that it brings, it's a connector. And in any time that any human has ever been alive, especially right now, where there's so much division, we need that most of all.
Now, questions from the audience.
Yes. Drop the mic.
Don't drop the mic.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, you are on. You're live.
I know you usually have scripts with with all the voice actors and doing your show.
Yeah.
But how often do you maybe have to improvise?
Well, like I'm hashtag humble brag. I'm pretty quick on my toes when it comes to like being silly. So they let me do it, and they let Richard Ian Cox do it, and they let Peter New do it. So like sometimes when he's supposed to say no, he's actually gone and said no, and it's like he just kills me. He kills me. So it's all right to go a little bit off the script. If you've got something funny to say, the writers just take credit for it anyway. They're not going to give you that funny thing that we said. Yeah, I did that. I wrote that last night.
I'm sure there's some very interesting stuff that went way off script.
No, and they've let me do that. Yeah. So it doesn't happen often because usually the writers are there and they're like, hey, keep it on the page, keep it on the page. So, but good question though.
Thank you.
Who else? I'm gonna let you just pick.
Hi. How much of yourself do you put into the characters? Do you play them exactly as directed, or give it your own flag?
Well, my methodology for acting, as I approach it, as an art form, is different than anybody else's, I guess, because I don't know how they approach acting. For me personally, I always try to imbue myself into the character. But it really all comes down to the audition process, because that's when you're creating the character. And sometimes you'll do something that the director or the writer or the designer didn't see or didn't think of, that's a neat thing. So you have to bring yourself, and you have to leave all of your inhibitions at the door. So like in life, just like in everything, like in acting, leave your inhibitions at the door and don't worry about what people think about you. Bring yourself to yourself all the time and just be you. That's me.
Hello,
Hello!
I am Snail Nebula.
Oh, hello, how are you?
Now, I may be from another universe, but as you know, I'm a working mongoose.
Is it Steven's universe?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Obviously, you've never seen Steven Universe. Okay, never mind.
But anyway, I may trouble you because I'm interested in working in your restaurant in Catalan with saffron masala.
Alright, okay.
Would you be interested in employing a working mongoose in becoming a waiter or something? Oh!
We can start you on dishes and work your way up from there, okay?
That's not fun. I have to wipe these dishes.
I put my time in, okay?
Oh, you're no fun. Just have to
I was cleaning toilets with my own toothbrush, okay? So, don't wash it today, okay? Anyway, very funny, that's a good answer, very funny. Okay, anybody else? Okay, this young man up here, buddy. What you got for me?
Who's your favourite My Little Pony villain?
My Little Pony villain? John Delancey's.
What?
Discord.
John himself.
Well, my convention agent that booked me here is Sherry Fowler, and she also represents John Delancey, and he is notorious at conventions for being a bit cantankerous, a bit of a, like, he's very quiet, and he said, no, I don't do that, ask me to do that. So Sherry and John and I hang out together, and I'm one of the few people that he'll actually sit and talk to because he likes Sherry, and we have a little, time together. But I like his character. So he's my favorite. I said, that's a good question, but it's got to be Discord. Because he's such a badass. Good question though, buddy. Yes, you right here.
Back.
Can we do this one here?
You said you did some stand-up. Can you give some an example of what sort of stand-up you did and give us a bit of a show?
Do you know how long it's been since I've done stand-up? I got out of stand-up because I couldn't stand it. No, it's true, it's really true. Because you'd be in the green room and other comics would be there, and they'd be telling you this story, and it's like, my mom got really sick, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm really sorry to hear that. And then they give you the punchline, but and I'm like, you just told me, mind screwed me, man. And they're trying out material on you, but I did it for 15 years. So, I don't know, I used to do like changing channels. I used to do channel changing, so I do one voice and then change the channel and do another. Like Mark Simpson,
Homie, there's something about this severed monkey paw that just doesn't settle with me.
and I do voice to voice to voice to voice. So it really wasn't so much of that's what my shtick was. I would do, and then I would do other voices and stuff in between. But, yeah. Thanks so much for putting me on the spot. I got flop sweats now. Anyway, who else?
So, do you have any auditions that you're working on or trying to land? Like, what are you going to do in terms of voice acting after Friendship Magic is over?
Well, I do voiceover auditions every day. So, like, I've been in over, again, humble brag, but 8,000 episodes of animation. And so I'm always doing at least 7 or 8 series a year. So, and a lot of them are done not going to studios anymore because it costs time for the studio and the engineer and all that. So I just do them in my pajamas in my back room when I have my thing. But there's lots, and the problem is I can't really talk about some of the things that I'm doing because I'm under non-disclosure agreement. NDAs, yeah, non-disclosure agreements. So legal would just chop my head off or rip out my vocal cords.
Off with his head. Literally.
So that explains why Terrace runs record the voices in a home studio as far as well?
Yeah, it's just cheaper. I mean, it just makes more sense economically. Even if you spend, it used to cost tens of thousands of dollars on a good microphone, good set of headphones, a good interface, and a good computer. Now you can get everything through GarageBand with a good USB mic, and if you're in a closet with lots of clothing, so it kind of takes away that room sound. You can send it off as an MP3 from your from GarageBand, edit, desktop, email to agent to producer, and Bob's your uncle.
On a side note,
Fanny's your uncle. Oh no, wonderful.
on a side note, do you do that also by the other PAs or whatever show you want?
No, I don't personally, because once you actually get the job, the audition can be done in your home, but once you get the job, then they usually bring you into a studio. But that's for Vancouver. I mean, in LA, it's hard, it's like herding cats. So it's hard to get all the actors in one room together. But that's what we do. So if you got the job, then they're like, okay, we got it, let's pull the pin on this, we got the money, let's get the actors in, and we'll get a director in, and then the machine just rolls. Anybody else? Okay, we got.
You say you're sort of legally blind. Has that ever caused you any sort of issues with auditions?
Oh
or
God.
something like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because before there was iPads where I could like reverse it so that, because mine is a light sensitivity and my central vision is terrible, but my nighttime vision and my periphery is great. Now that there's iPads and I can flip the script to be white lettering on black and I can blow it up and then just have it draped over my music stand, now it's no problem. But before, I'd have to do this and you could hear my voice off the page and I'd have to read like this and it was just awful. And the first gig I had was on Conan the Destroyer. And it was for a guy named Wally Burr, who was in the Caribbean on a houseboat with his cabana boy, and he was phoning in his direction. And I was there with a bunch of people that I had just met in Vancouver, and they all knew that I was legally blind. The very first character was a warrior who got blinded by a fire-breathing dragon. And then my first word was, "I'm blind!" Wally Burr has a very particular way of making you say things. It's called the crescendo. It's like, everything goes up at the end! And so he made me say this bloody line, not knowing me, or knowing that I couldn't see. He made me read it like 18 times. And this is normal for Wally Burr. And slowly, all the people were filtering out of the room. And they'd all walk by me and tap me on the shoulder like, finally, my friend Doug Parker, who was a director friend of mine, and one of my besties at the time, he said, and finally at the 18th one, he said, "Wally Lee is legally blind." He goes, well that last one was pretty good. And I said, is this the way it's gonna be? Like, trial by stone, trial by stone. Well, okay, that's this skag season, in case you dark crystal. No, not enough. Anyway, next question.
One more question, I think. Okay, at the back there.
Firstly, I just want to say, as a completely blind person, you're very inspiring.
Oh, bless your heart.
I'm a singer. I've done quite a lot of professional singing, and I've done a little bit of voice acting, but I'm getting more into it. I use voiceover to read the script into my ear, and then I've got to filter that and then speak it.
That's clever.
No, I just wondered if you had any experience of that, because it can be quite difficult, and I wonder if you had any tips for me.
Well, that's hard to say because I have never been. I've been in your situation, but thankfully the technology has caught up with my apparent disability, so I can use iPads now.
Can you put some site?
Yeah, I do have some sight. I have 20 over 200, which means I have to be 20 feet away from something, and somebody can be 200 feet away from something that I would need to be 20 feet away from to see as good or as well. And then you add the sunlight to that, and it's like staring into headlights. I can't see anything. So I'm totally blind during the day.
Okay.
In terms of the technologies that are out there, yeah, I would say that's probably. I think you've solved your own problem.
It's quite difficult to hear the speech. You have to be sort of 2 sentences ahead of yourself.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lag.
And then,
there's a lag, right? That must be very hard.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say you really inspired me to get.
What's your name?
Vicky.
Vicky, bless your heart.
Start with podcasting first off and see if I can get some voice acting with that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Vicky. Well, let's have a round of applause. For a company, for a foundation in Canada and the States, and it's called Foundation for Fighting Blindness. And there's a lot of fantastic things through stem cell research that's going on. And I am actually a public speaker, and they fly me around to talk to especially teenagers who lose their sight rapidly and become suicidal. Talk amongst yourself. So, sorry, that's a real moment that. Yeah, and so it's my job to tell them that, the benefits, and there are, of being blind, because you live in your imagination. It's made me a fantastic writer, I'd like to hope to believe, and, and the things like, you listen to Andre Bocelli, and sculptures in clay that work just tactile, just with their hands, that are totally blind, and it enhances your other skill sets. So, yeah. Thank you, I'm blind, yes, thank you, I'm blind. No, I feel funny accepting applause for that. I didn't, is yours, Vicky, is yours congenital? Were you born like that?
Yes,
yeah, me too. So, which is good, see, we're lucky because we didn't have it taken from us. It was just never there. So we don't know what brain is.
My son is 13 and he is reading novels, and he's on a graphic novel, and he does voices in different planets.
Oh, brilliant.
So I'm going to be getting him to do it. Yeah, it's really inspirational. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Well, yes, and I don't know how to follow any further down that rabbit hole, but it was a lovely journey. Thank you, Vicky.
I think it's a good place to bring it to a close, because it reminds us as well, Lee, that for all the laughter and all the fun that you do go out and you get to sort of use your profile and your experience to help people, and I think it shows what's great about this community as well, that we support one another and that we use the show as a way of exploring our creativity and.
I think media without message is meaningless.
Absolutely. And in fact, talking of message, I think you've got something for us.
Well, I do, but I'm hesitant because you've already been sitting so patiently and your bones are tired and sore. But I do have a little 9-minute thing. I've just about finished the 3rd movie, and I'm pitching it next month in Los Angeles. This is the treatment I've almost finished, but I have a 9-minute poem that inspired these movies. It's called The Grim Possession of Chesterfield's Couch. And I recalled as I was bringing it over here that my OC is Limerick Pencraft, and he's English. And I thought, oh God, why may I be doing it in front of a bunch of English people? If you're interested, it's 9 minutes long, so if you want to, just say, screw you, Lee, I'm bored. But I produced it myself. I did all the sound effects myself. Well, I edited it myself, and I wrote it myself, and I voiced it myself. And if you're interested, I don't know if we can turn the lights down or anything, because it's kind of a kid's book, and it's kind of fantastical. It's like Harry Potter meets The Odd Couple. So but it's fantastical. And if you're interested, you can stay, and if not, then I'll feel funny because all the seats will be empty. But you let me know by applause. Does anybody want to hear it? Let's see if I can get it going then. Hold on. Thank you for indulging me. But it's my gift to you.